Hello everyone, happy Tuesday. It's time for another episode of Tuesday Live at 5. This is Lena Gersa. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Cambridge, Ontario, Canada. Stormy Cambridge, Ontario, Canada. We're having a big loud thunderstorm right now. And today it is strawberry season in my studio and actually outside too. The hot weather we've had over the last couple of days have brought on the strawberries. So I am excited. I love fresh picked strawberries. There's nothing like it. So sweet and juicy. And so today we're all about the Sweet Strawberry Bundle. Now this bundle has been around since January. It was in the January to June mini catalog and it was so popular it promptly sold out. Well, not the whole bundle, the punch sold out. And it has been unavailable for months. And so I've been holding on to these projects and my class ideas until the bundle has become available again. And it just so happened that it became available just in time for strawberry season, which is perfect. So here we go, it's strawberry season. So today we're gonna be playing with the bundle, the stamps and the punch, and I'll show you some cute projects and I hope you like them. Okay, now let's just see who's joining me. Let me pull up my video here. All right, hello, Louise and Krista and Sue and Wendy. Thanks for joining me today. All right, I hope the weather is nicer where you are. Louise, I know it's not because you're in my neighborhood and it is storming right now. It is pouring rain. I had some very unhappy cats coming inside. They were not impressed. They were soaked. However, we are here. Hi, Susan. Thanks for joining me today. So we're going to look at some projects and I'm going to show you some projects using the Sweet Strawberry Bundle. Okay, you ready to get going? I'm going to flip the camera and we will get to it. So give me a sec. All right, I'm going to move my lights up just a bit because that's looking a little bit dark. There we go. That looks better. Okay. Oh, you have a nervous Yorkie. Yeah, the dogs do not especially love thunder. All right. Hi, Susan. Hi, Gail. Hi, Judy. Julie. Oh, it's sunny in Plattsville, is it, Julie? Not so much here. It is thundering right now. All right. So Sweet Strawberry Bundle, as I mentioned, is in the January to June mini, but it also carried over to the new annual catalog. And the best part is that the bundle pricing also carried over. Quite often when a bundle is in a mini catalog, when it carries over, the bundle pricing does not come with it. However, you can still get the bundle pricing on the stamp set and punch, which is awesome. So you'll find the bundle on page 43 in the annual catalog, okay? But I'm gonna show it to you up close and personal here. So super cute stamp set with some fun images that coordinate with the punch and then some fun sentiments and awesome fonts. Now, some of you may have also picked up the Berry Blessings stamp set, which was a celebration freebie. It came with coordinating designer series paper. So this one also works perfectly. The fonts match and everything, right? It's almost like two stamp sets that were meant for each other. So we also have the punch, okay, and there's lots of punch art possibilities with this one. If you saw my little leprechaun that I did on St. Patrick's Day, I used actually all these three punch shapes for that little guy. Now, if you want to see that one, you can check out my YouTube channel. I've got the tutorial on there, okay? All right, so that is the bundle. Let's get this out of the way. We'll set our punch aside. And the first project we're going to do is one I posted yesterday. And this is just really, really cute and fun. Love these little ladybug trinkets. Now they are retiring and they're on sale, I think for half price right now. So you'll want to grab those before they go away. So I'm starting my background with Crumb Cake. So this is 4 by 5¼ inches. I've got my Crumb Cake ink pad and I've mounted this sort of sprig of leaves and flowers from the stamp set. So we're going to start just by stamping that image several times around the edge of this panel. Now I'm not worried really about the middle because it's mostly going to get covered up. I do want to rotate my stamp so I don't get the exact same image every time. So we'll just come all the way around the edge, and this time I'm going to get just a leaf here, I think. There we go. Okay, that's all there is to that background. Now, stamping tone on tone is a great way to just add a little bit of subtle texture to your background without actually embossing. So for those who are newer to stamping, who maybe don't have a cut and emboss machine, just doing tone on tone stamping like that is a great technique. It's a great technique for those of us who do have a cut and emboss machine, let's be honest. Okay, so then we're going to add some layers. So this is a piece of real red designer series paper. It's from the 6x6 Regals color family pack. It's cut to, let me measure, 1.5 by 4. Okay, and then I have a piece of Saffron cardstock that is 1 5/8 by 4. So when I layer them, you're going to see that we just get that little bit of a border there behind. So let's grab a little bit of adhesive. Oh, Laura, I love this stamp set too, and I'm so excited that I finally get to showcase it because, as I said earlier, I've been holding on to it, waiting for the punch to come back in stock, and it's taken a while, but now that it's here, it happens to be strawberry season, so it's actually pretty good timing. So we're going to go ahead and adhere that layered DSP and cardstock to the front of our Crumb Cake panel, about 1.5 inches, 1.25 inches up from the bottom. So again, I'll just use a little bit of liquid glue here. Yes, I know it's pouring, Louise. I can hear it, and I'm in the basement. You know it must be pouring if I can hear it in the basement. It is quite the storm. All right, so there is my background. Now we're going to add a little bit of ribbon before we glue it onto our card base. So I have here some of the Bumblebee Gingham ribbon. Now I know we use Saffron, but honestly, it's so close that it really doesn't matter. We don't carry any ribbon in Saffron, but this Bumblebee Gingham totally works. So we're going to add a little bit of the ribbon, and look what I found, my ribbon scissors. If you watched my video last week, you know what I'm talking about. A certain someone in my household was working on a school project and needed some scissors. So came into Mom's craft room and grabbed the first pair he saw. We had a little lesson on the importance of ribbon scissors. So anyway, we've got our ribbon on. We're going to go ahead and adhere our panel to our card base. This is real red cardstock. It's 4.25 by 11 inches, scored in the middle at 5.5. So we'll fold that in half along our score line. And then we're going to adhere our panel so that it's centered on the front of our card base. I'm just going to add a little bit of seal. And we're going to pop that on. Just about there. Okay. Oh, Louise, I don't think it's a teenager thing. I think it's a male thing. They don't quite seem to understand the importance of good scissors. All right, so here I have a die cut scalloped basic white rectangle. This is cut using the Stitch So Sweetly dies. And I'm going to bring in my real red ink and my "That Was So Sweet of You" stamp. So we're just going to stamp that sort of in the middle-ish. Okay, just like that. And then I'm going to bring back my stamp that I used on my background and the Crumb Cake ink. And we're just going to stamp a couple of little sprigs to fill in some of the white space on our sentiment piece here. So I'm just kind of, again, adding a little bit of interest to my background. I'm not going to see a whole lot of this, but that's okay. All right. Then we're ready to add that to our card. So this is going to go on with a couple of dimensionals. So we'll grab our sheet of dimensionals and just throw a few of these on there like that and get rid of our backings. My stomach's growling. I haven't had time for lunch. I've been in Zoom calls literally all day. It's one of those days. All right, so we're going to pop that on right about there. Okay, now we're going to make ourselves some strawberries. So I have here a strip of white cardstock. So the key to not wasting a whole lot of cardstock when you are using one of these builder punches is using narrow strips of cardstock, okay? If you use a big sheet, you're going to waste a lot of cardstock, okay? So I'm going to start with my real red ink. And I'm going to stamp 3 strawberries. Now there are 2 images for the strawberries. I'll just bring in the stamp set, it's easier to see. So we have a more solid image, and then we have a sort of the detail that adds the seeds and the outline, okay? So I personally like to stamp the solid image first. Now, another tip, when you're using this punch, do you see how the strawberry is upside down? So make sure you stamp your strawberry upside down when you're stamping it to punch, okay? So there's one. And you're going to want to leave a little bit of space between them. Okay, so there's my 3 strawberries. And then I'm going to come in with my my detailed stamp and go right over top and just stamp this. Now these are photopolymer stamps, so it's pretty easy to see through to place them. However, if you are not confident in your stamping, you can certainly use a Stamparatus, right? Okay, so then I'm going to pop my strip into my punch. And pop that out. Hi, Debbie. Oh, Sue, you lost the connection. I'm sorry about that. I don't know if that was me or you. It could be me. It is quite stormy here, so strange things tend to happen when it's storming. And we'll add one more. Come on, there we go. All right, so there are my 3 strawberries. So then I'm going to stamp, how many leaves did I do? 3 leaves? Yes, I did 3 leaves and 3 flowers. So we're going to get rid of, well, actually we're going to keep that little scrap to do our flowers, but we're going to do our leaves next. So for our leaves, we're going to use some garden green ink. So I'm going to pull that in. We'll just set our strawberries aside. Now our leaves on the punch, we're going to slide our paper in, and you're going to see that the stem of the leaf needs to go to the left. So we want to make sure when we're stamping that that's the direction we stamp it in. Now for the leaves, I actually find it easier to stamp my outline first, and you'll see why in a second. So I'm going to do 1, 2, and I'll do 1 this way. 3, okay? And then I'm going to ink up my leaf, the solid image, and I'm going to stamp off once. And the reason, I want it a little bit lighter shade, but this is why I like doing my outline first, because it's easier to see where to place my stamped image. Okay, so there are our leaves. So let's set that aside, and then we're going to punch them out. So again, we go in the top, line it up, and pop them out. So there's 1, and 2, and 1 more is 3. Okay, so there are my leaves. And then we need a couple of stems. Well, we need 3 stems to be exact. So again, I'm going to come in with my garden green. And just like the other images, we have a detail and then a more solid one. So we're going to use this little bit here. Now I should mention my stem, it's kind of, again, pointing off to the left. So when I stamp, I want to make sure that that's the orientation I have. I'm actually going to flip this and do it this way for my stamp. So we're going to just stamp that and then stamp off with the solid image, okay? And I'm going to do that 2 more times on this little bit that's left. So we'll go 1 and 2, and then again stamp off. So it's really important to realize that even though you may have limited colors of ink, if you are a relatively new stamper and you haven't got a really complete ink collection yet, keep in mind that it is possible to get multiple shades of ink with 1 ink pad just by stamping off, okay? So you can see here I use the same color of ink, but I have a lighter and a darker just by stamping off once, okay? So don't forget that. Stamping off is one of my favorite techniques when trying to get shading. So I'm going to slide my image into my punch again, and we're just going to trim off the scrap here. And do this little guy. Oh, come on. In we go. My hands are shaky today. I need to eat. That's what my problem is. I haven't had anything to eat. All right, and then 1 more. We're going to pop this in. Okay, and then I need just a little bit more scrap to do my flowers. So let me just grab another piece of white scrap. I've got lots of it over here. There we go. And we're going to stamp our flowers in Saffron. So we'll set our punch aside again, and we've got our flowers. So once again, we're going to stamp the outline of the flower full strength, so meaning without stamping off. And I'll do one more. Oh, I don't know if that'll work, but that's okay. I might need to restamp that one. And then we're going to stamp off with the solid image and fill it in. Okay, super quick and easy to make really, really cute images with this set. And then we're going to punch it out again. So here we go. There's one. And we'll get this guy. Come on. Two. Come on. Sorry, I have to squeeze really hard with this punch. I'm not sure why. I think it maybe needs to be sharpened a little bit. I have used it a ton. Do you all know how to sharpen your punches? There's a couple of ways. You can do it by layering aluminum foil, like tin foil, and punching several layers of that. The other way, which I tend to use more often because I find it works better, is to cut open a pop can, a soda can, and punch that. It's actually a little bit stiffer than the aluminum foil. I find it does a great job. Okay, so we have our strawberries and all our bits. So we are going to assemble our berries. So I'm going to just use a glue dot on each one of my little stems, and we're going to pop them on. Hi Jill, how are you? Are you getting the same heat we are here in Ohio? I think you probably are. It is crazy hot for June. And then I'm going to add my leaves to the back of my strawberry. So I'm going to add one here. Okay, that one's going to kind of pop on there. And then we're going to add another one to this guy. It's going to kind of go up and to the left. So that one's going to kind of pop on there. And then this guy is going to kind of pop on behind this one. Just like that. Okay, it's going to go on right about there. So again, you know me and dimension. So I am going to pop up 2 out of my 3 strawberries. So we are going to start with this guy down here. So we'll just pop that one on. Okay, and then this one up top I'm going to glue flat. So I'm going to add just a little bit of adhesive. We're going to need a dimensional on the leaf because it's going to extend off the edge of our popped layer here. So it's going to go on like that. And then this guy is going to pop up on top. And I find arranging strawberries is just like arranging flowers. That's what I have discovered. It's the same basic concept. Thanks, Sue. All right, so we are going to just pop that guy on, and then the last little touch of color is adding these little blossoms. So we'll add one up here, and we'll tuck one in here, and I just love the little pop of color that these cute little blossoms add. I'm actually going to tuck this one underneath, I think. Do that one a little differently. Okay, so there is our most of our card. We're going to add a bow as soon as I figure out what I do with my ribbon. There it is. So this ribbon is super easy to tie. It's quite supple, and it holds its shape quite nicely. So we're just going to make our bow and even out our loops. Just like that. Trim our tip. Oh boy, South Florida and hurricane season. That is the one reason that I will never live in Florida. Give me a snowstorm any day over a hurricane. They just totally make me nervous. I couldn't do it. So kudos to you, Sue. All right. We are going to add a little ladybug. These things are the cutest. They, again, were on back order for a long, long time. And then came in back in stock, and now they're on half price because I think Stampin' Up has too many of them. So they're trying to clear them out. So half price for these little cuties. And there's your finished card. Isn't that cute? Now, I will mention on my sample, I'm not sure how well it shows on the camera, but I actually took my white watercolor pencil and I added a little bit of shading to the flowers on the background. Now, I'm not going to do all of them, but it's literally just taking your white watercolor pencil and adding a little bit of white to make those flowers pop a little bit. Okay, I'm not going to take the time to do that now because we got 2 more cards to make. All right, but there is our finished card. Hope you like that one. And I got to keep a couple of inks out for the next one, but we'll get this out of the way. And that out of the way. And I'm going to clear away some of my scrap because I'm going to make more scrap with the next card. And I will be buried in a mess of white paper bits here. There we go. All right, let's get to card number 2. Card number 2 is this one that I posted earlier today. I absolutely love this card. I don't know what it is. I'm loving the black and white and red, and the pop of the green just really, really makes me happy. So I'm going to show you what we did. Some of it I have already done, just in the interest of time. So I started with a basic black background. Okay, you like ladybugs still? These little guys are pretty cute, and they're half price, so scoops them up. So we've got a basic black background panel. It's 4 by 5 1/4, and on it I've stamped some of that little sprig image and heat embossed it in white ahead of time. Okay. Then I have a 2 by 5 1/4 inch piece of basic white cardstock that I've embossed using the new checks and dots embossing folders. And to me, it kind of plays like a basket weave. Okay, especially with the strawberries. So I thought that was a cute little combination. So that is going to get layered here, but we're not going to put it on just yet because we're going to add a little bit of Designer Series paper. So this is from the Pattern Party Host DSP pack. Yes, I am totally addicted to that paper. I don't think I've made a card in the last 2 weeks that has not used some of this paper. I just love it. So this is the black and white buffalo check pattern. It's the yellow on the other side. And all I did is I took my Poppy Parade ink pad and I just basically went and smooshed it on there, and then took a sponge and just blended it out. And that's what gave me that really bright red and black buffalo check. So you'll be seeing lots more of this from me at Christmas time, I can guarantee it. So we're going to glue this little DSP piece on to our embossed background. And it's going to go on about in the middle. I'm not really measuring. Oh, I should probably tell you how big this is. This is 2 1/4 by 3 inches. Okay. I will put, again, all the measurements up after the video. I'll put them up in the description for you. Okay, so there is our DSP, and then we're going to layer our embossed white piece on the other side. So we're just going to add that. Now you probably could get away with cutting a smaller piece of basic black and not layering, but I just found it easier to have one piece to layer all of this stuff on top of. That's just me, okay? Now, before we glue this onto our card base, we're gonna add a little bit of white baker's twine. So we're just gonna add just a double thickness here. So we'll just trim a little bit off there. And again, I like to do this folded trick so that I'm not actually wrapping my twine around my card base or my card panel and wasting twine on the back of it. So this way, by just folding a longer piece in half, we're not wasting it. All right, so we'll get rid of that little bit of extra there. So now we're ready to glue that onto our card base. Okay, so our card base this time is Poppy Parade. This is like the best strawberry color ever. It was made to stamp strawberries. This is 8.5 by 5.5, scored in the middle at 4 1/4. So we're going to fold that in half along our score line. And then we're going to adhere our background panel to the front. So we'll add a little bit of adhesive here. Oh, I agree, Claire. The white totally does make them pop. 100% agree. Okay, so there is our card base. Okay, so now we're going to stamp some more strawberries. And to stamp these strawberries, I actually used yet another piece of Pattern Party Designer Series paper. So this is actually this green, sort of granny apple green on one side. It's these little bitty polka dots on the other. And I thought, wow, they look an awful lot like the seeds on a strawberry. So we are going, did I not bring my Poppy Parade ink pad? There it is. Forgot to put it in my basket. All right, so we're gonna stamp the strawberries in Poppy Parade right on the DSP. And I didn't actually bother stamping the outline image because when I stamp this, and I'm actually gonna double stamp because I want them to be quite vibrant. Okay, it looks like seeds. So no need to stamp that extra layer. So I'm just going to instead do a double stamp of the solid image to get a nice, rich, vibrant poppy shade. And we'll do one more on here. Just like that. Okay, whoop, just put my finger in the ink pad. And then we're gonna punch them out. So we'll start with this guy. Oh, I punched it too close. That's okay. I've got more DSP. I was thinking that as I was doing it, actually. I was thinking, oh, these might be too close. But then I was talking and I just thought, oh, don't listen to your inner voice. Just keep going. Always listen to your inner voice. All right, so there's 2 strawberries. We're gonna do one more. I have more DSP right here. So we're gonna stamp one more just so that we have 3. So we'll add one more guy here. And again, we'll do a double stamp so it's nice and vibrant. And we're gonna pop that out. So again, we'll slide it in there and just pop it out. Okay. All right, so there are our strawberries. Now to do the leaves and stems, we're actually gonna use the other side of this paper because it's a great shade of green, and we're going to stamp our outline of the leaf and the outline of the stem. We're not gonna worry about doing the solid image again. I'm just gonna stamp these off because we're gonna do black. So we're going to stamp 3 stems. So again, remembering that that stem image kind of shoots off to the left side there. So we're gonna do 3 this way. Okay, and then we're gonna do our 3 leaves across here, except I may not have enough. That's okay, we might only do 2 leaves. That's all right. So we will get that out of the way. And we're gonna punch these guys out. So again, your leaf goes in the top. So punch that. And one more. And then stem goes down the side. Can you tell I've punched a lot of strawberries? I've kind of got the spacing down and figured out the orientation because I've done a lot of these cards over the last little while. I love this stamp set. There's a stem and one more. Just like that. Okay, come on out of there, you. All right, again, we'll get rid of all our scrap bits. One thing I will say, using builder punches tends to be a little bit messy because you get lots of sort of off-cut bits that you don't need. So we'll just slide those over to the side. And then we're going to assemble our berries. So again, we're going to add a glue dot to our stem. And I love that by using the DSP, they kind of have the same texture as the strawberries. If I'd used cardstock, they would have seemed a little bit heavier because our cardstock is a heavier weight, right? So I just like that by using the DSP for both the stems and the berries, they just work really well together. So we will add our stems there, and then we just need to stamp a couple of berries. We're just going to stamp, or not berries, flowers. We're going to stamp them in black just on some scrap of white here. So one, oops, getting fingerprints on my cardstock. We'll do that. I've got a very inky lid. I've got to clean that lid. All right, so we'll punch out our flowers. So there's one. And 2 and 3. All right. And then once again, it's just a matter of arranging our strawberries, just like we arrange our flowers. So to start, I'm going to put 1 strawberry just on the end of my label. It's just going to kind of be adhered to the end of that label. So I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive there, and we're just going to pop that little guy on there. Okay, and then it's really just a matter of arranging the rest of our berries. Okay, so we're going to bring in our card. Here, let me get this out of the way. There we go. There's our card base. So this is going to go on sort of just above where our twine comes across. Okay, so we're going to add a couple of dimensionals there to adhere that. I make it look so easy. It is easy. Come on, Louise. Stamping is fun. All right, so there is our sentiment. Okay, we're going to add a little leaf behind our strawberries. I'm just going to add a little bit of adhesive there. Now, keeping in mind, we only have 2 leaves here, so we're not going to have quite as much greenery on this one, but that's okay. And then we're gonna add another berry in behind. So I'm gonna pop this one up too, just because I like the look of it popped. So we'll add one back here. And the trick when you're arranging these berries is to kind of do some sort of cockeyed one way and the rest cockeyed another way. Okay, that's what makes it the most visually pleasing. So this one I'm gonna do, what am I gonna do? I think I'm gonna do this guy. We'll do that like that. No, maybe we'll do it like that. I like that better. I don't know. We're gonna add a leaf first. So we'll add a leaf to this guy. Actually, this one, yeah, we'll do it this way. Actually, no, we're going to do it the other way because I don't want it to look exactly the same as this guy. There, we're going to put that one on there. It's a couple more dimensionals. And a little bit of adhesive on the leaf where it's going to overlap our strawberry. So it's going to go on kind of right about there. Okay, and then once again, we're going to tuck in our flowers wherever we feel like we need one. So we're going to add one in behind here because I feel like there's a little bit of a gap there. And we'll add one in here, and then I added one extra one just on the end of the sentiment, just to kind of tie it all together there. Okay. We are our own worst critics, Debbie. I think it probably looks just fine, and I can't tell you how many times I have done that where I've made something and then thought it looked terrible and walked away and come back the next day and gone, you know what, it's fine. I don't know. I don't know why I hated that so much. But we're our own worst critics. We all think that what we do is terrible and what other people do is so much better. And if we all just gave ourselves a little bit of grace, I think we would all be quite happier with our crafting lives. All right, so I'm going to add another little twine bow here. So this is going to be a double bow. So I'm just taking a double thickness of twine and we're going to pull that a little bit through here and make our bow. And then adjust our loops. I almost lost the end of that loop there. That was a close one. All right, so we'll just adjust these. And trim our tails. And then add a glue dot. A rolled glue dot, a little glue bugger here. Press the knot of our bow into the glue and then just tuck it in there on the corner of that label. Okay, and there we go. So cute. Now the last little touch, of course, is to add a bit of bling because I felt like red and black needs a little bling, right? It just does. So we're gonna add some rhinestones, and why not? Why shouldn't strawberries be blingy? So I'm gonna add one of each size. So we've got a larger one, we've got a medium one, and then we've got a little bitty one that we'll tuck in up here, just like that. Isn't that cute? Oh, I'm loving that black and red combo. Just love it. No, that's a little long. Sorry. There we go. Let's fix that. Okay, super cute. Love it. Card number 2 done. All right, moving on. Number 3. Here we go. Number 3 is this soft and delicate one. So we had really bold and vibrant, and then we have this beautiful soft and delicate one. So I'm going to show you how to do this one. Now there's a little bit of ink blending involved in this one. Not a lot, but just a little hint of it. So believe it or not, we are going to start with a piece of Blushing Bride cardstock. Now I know this doesn't look like Blushing Bride. So I've had a number of people comment to me that they really wish Stampin' Up! Had like a light pink that was like pinky pink, right? A lot of people feel that like Blushing Bride has got a little bit too much brown in it. It's a little bit too dusty. So I wanted to come up with a way to get a more pinky pink. So if I lay this, can you see the difference in the color there? Okay, so this starts out as just a piece of Blushing Bride cardstock. So this is 5 1/4 by 4 inches. Okay, and I'm going to bring in my Blushing Bride ink pad so I figure out where it is. It's buried. And we are going to stamp that same sprig image in Blushing Bride ink. So we're going to do tone on tone again. I'm going to give this a quick clean because I don't want to have any crumb cake in there. So we're going to just stamp, as I said, our Blushing Bride sprig. I'm going to do a couple sort of down in one corner. And again, I like to rotate the stamp so that I get a different look each time I stamp it. And then I'm going to stamp a couple of times in the opposite corner. Let's see, what do we do? We'll do this. Okay. And then I'm going to bring in my blending brush. and some polished pink. So polished pink is one of our new in colors. It's quite a bold pink. However, I discovered that when I sponge or blend a little bit of polished pink onto Blushing Bride, something rather magical happens. The Blushing Bride becomes a really pretty, soft, pinky pink, which is what has been missing from our color lineup, if you ask me. So I'm just taking and blending on, adding just a little hint of polished pink all the way around. I'm doing a little bit more over the stamped images because I really want to blend them into the background. So we're just going to come on and blend that out a little bit. And it's going to give that really soft, pretty pink. So this is an idea to try. For those of you that are missing having a soft, pinky pink, try this, okay? So Blushing Bride with a little bit of polished pink sponged over it gives you a really pretty pink, okay? All right, so we're gonna set that aside. I'm going to bring in just another scrap of Blushing Bride, and we are going to stamp our strawberries. Now again, I have to clean this because we've got Poppy Parade on there, and getting that into my Blushing Bride ink pad would be a bit of a disaster. So we don't want that to happen. I'm going to set the polished pink aside because we're going to use that again in a second. So I'm going to come back with my Blushing Bride, and I'm going to stamp just 2 strawberries on this little scrap. So we're going to go 1 and 2. Okay, and then I'm going to come in with my detailed image and add that. Okay, and then I'm going to come back in with my blending brush. So we're going to grab the blending brush, and I'm just going to come on and go right over those strawberries. I don't want to cover the entire thing with the blending brush. I just want to kind of, can you see the difference in color? It just makes them quite a bit pinkier, okay? So it's a really pretty way to add just that subtle little bit of a difference and get a more pink shade from your Blushing Bride ink pad. Okay, so there are our strawberries. So let's punch those out. Oops, upside down, there we go. So we'll just pop those out. Just like that, 1 and 2, okay? And then we're going to stamp our leaves. So our leaves, we're going to use some soft seafoam and Pear Pizzazz. Okay, so I just wanted to get a not quite a tone on tone. I wanted it to be a little bit darker. So I'm going to stamp, where's my stamp? Got to clean that one too. Let's give that a quick clean. So there's 1 and 2. I may as well do the leaves while I have it out because I'm gonna need that too. And I probably should have given myself a larger piece of soft seafoam. Oh, I have more. Never mind. I was more prepared than I thought. All right, so we're gonna come in with our Pear Pizzazz ink. I'm gonna ink up my outline leaf stamp. I'm going to stamp off once, okay? Because I want this to be quite subtle and light. So we're gonna go 1 and 2. Okay, and then I'm going to add 1 more over here. Okay, and then same thing with the solid. So I'm going to stamp off and then stamp over my leaf. All right, so by stamping on colored cardstock, it just adds a little bit more shading when I stamp with a different shade of ink over top of it. So it's the same kind of principle as we did with the ink blending, right? Where we're blending different shades of the same color and getting more variation. I shouldn't have put that away because I need to do my stems. Silly me. So we're gonna do the same thing with our stems. So again, stamped off once, stamp the stem, stamp off once, stamp the stem, and then stamp off once, and we'll fill in the stem. Here we go. Oh, you like these, Deb? Thank you. Wait till you see the cards for our strawberry social class. I think you'll like them. All right, so let's punch out our leaves. So there's 1 and 2 and 1 more. There's 3. Okay, so there's our 3 leaves. And then we're going to do our 2 stems. So again, just sliding it down the side of the punch and then trimming off. Where'd my scissors go? There they are. And punch this little guy. All right, there we go. Again, more little bitty scraps. You should see my floor. My studio here after making a whole bunch of these cards. There's little bits of scrap everywhere. Okay, so let's assemble our berries. So again, just with a glue dot, I find that the easiest way to add these little stems. It's just quick and easy to place them. Where'd my other stem go? There it is. And we'll add the other one to this guy. Okay, and then I'm going to add a leaf to this one. So it's just going to kind of be coming off the side like that. And we're going to arrange these. Now, before we do that, we need to do some work on our background panel. So we're going to bring back our sponge background. And we are going to, first of all, layer some ribbon as soon as I get it out of here. So this ribbon is from the Flowers for Every Season combo pack. It was in last year's catalog and it is back, and I'm so happy because I love this white linen look ribbon. So we're going to add a little bit of ribbon, again, about, I don't know, 1.25 inches up from the bottom. So the big thing with when adding ribbon, I find, is that you don't want to put it right smack in the middle, usually. Okay, visually, it's that rule of thirds. So you kind of want to put it, so if you think about dividing your card 1, 2, 3 panels, so this is kind of in the 3rd section. Okay, so the rule of thirds applies there. Okay, and then we're going to add just a punch. This is a 2-inch circle. I punched this using our retired 2-inch circle punch, but there is a die in the die set that is very close in size, so you can use that if you don't have the circle punches. So we're going to pop that on there just like that. Okay, and then I have a square vellum doily, and we are going to make it round. So we're just going to trim off these little bits on the corners. Okay, so a lot of people look at these doilies and think, oh, doilies aren't supposed to be square. Well, the best thing about these doilies is that you can change their shape a million ways by just trimming off little sections. They're awesome. These are one of my favorite embellishments. And actually, I think they're on back order right now. It could be because of me, actually. I just love them. I use them a ton. And for one of the big draws for me is that I don't have to die cut them, right? So when I am prepping classes, the less die cutting I have to do, the better. So not that I don't like die cutting, but when you're die cutting for, a class of 38, it's a lot of die cutting. So what we are going to do then is add our doily over top of our punch circle. Okay, so it's going to go right about there. Okay, and we're just going to do that with a little bit of seal. I'm not going to worry about trying to glue the doily on. That would be disastrous, to be honest. It would take me a month of Sundays to do that. So we're just going to center the doily over our circle and press it into place. This little sticky bit here is going to get covered up. Okay, all right, so let's go back to our strawberries. So we're going to add 1 strawberry here. The other one's going to kind of tuck in here. We're going to add a leaf. We're going to add another leaf. Okay, it's just a matter of arranging them however you like them, really. So let's add, well, we'll put 1 leaf here, just as sort of a placeholder. And then we'll add a strawberry up here. Get out of there, you leaf. There we go. Okay, and then we'll add another strawberry right about here, I think. So when I'm gluing these on, I like to leave sort of the edges unglued because that makes it easy to tuck leaves and flowers and whatnot in underneath after the fact. Okay, that's just a little tip when you're doing your floral arranging with your strawberries. If you leave them not fully secured, it makes it easier to add bits and pieces afterwards. Okay, now we need to do a little bit more stamping here. We need to stamp our sentiment and a couple more flowers. So I'm gonna clean this really quick because it's got black ink on it. And I'm gonna grab my Blushing Bride again. We're gonna stamp 3 more little flowers in the Blushing Bride. So we'll go this way. We'll go 1 and 2 and 3. Now I'm not filling these ones in. I want them to look white against my pink background. So we're going to just punch these guys out. And the best thing about this flower stamp is it doesn't look like it's symmetrical, but when you punch it, it totally is. I think my flower just flew across the room. I may have to go find it amid all the other little bits that are on my floor. Either that or it might be quicker to just stamp another one. Oh, another one went flying, but that one I think stayed right close. And one more. There we go. All right. Oh, we got two. Oh, no, they stayed. Look at that. It was scrap that went flying. All right, so that's out of the way. And then the last little thing we need to stamp is our sentiment. So I'm using the Hello There. Where'd you go, Hello? There you are. The Hello There stamp from the stamp set, and I'm going to stamp in Smoky Slate ink. So we're just going to pop that on, stamp it there, and then I'm going to use my double oval punch. Look at that, Lisa, I remembered the name. To punch out my hello. I'm using the plain oval. All right. And then it's just a matter of assembly. So let's add a flower at top here. Where'd my glue dots go? I went to grab the ribbon instead. So we'll tuck a flower here and another flower here and another one. We'll just tuck it down here, I think. Okay, and then our sentiment is going to go on with a couple of dimensionals. So we'll just go 1 and 2. And then, sorry, I'm reading comments. I should be concentrating. You guys are funny. All right, we're going to just center that oval on our little arrangement here. Okay, that's ready to glue onto our card base. I just used a thick basic white card base. It's 5.5 by 8.5, scored in the middle at 4 1/4. So we'll fold that in half along our score line. Wow, I have a mess here. My goodness, you guys. I'm a messy crafter today. Oh, let's be honest. I'm a messy crafter every day. We'll add a little bit of adhesive here. And pop that onto the front of our card. Just like that. And then the last couple of touches, they're the fun part, right? This is like your outfit and then you add all of the jewelry, right? So embellishments to me are like jewelry. They just add that extra little something something to our project. So we're going to make a bow. I'm right at the tail end of my roll here and I have just enough to make my bow. And again, I love this ribbon because it holds, right? When you pull your bow nice and tight, it holds, it does not slide. It's got nice linen texture, so it really holds its shape. The other really great thing about this ribbon is it's super easy to color using your Stampin' Blends. I have done that on several occasions. All right, so there is our bow. We're gonna trim our tails. Now, because it's a little bit wider, I like to do a little bit of a notched tail. So I just do my little fold in half trick and trim our tails. Okay, and then that is going to adhere to the front of our card with a glue dot. Okay, it's going to go on just sort of in the corner there. And then we're going to add a little bit of bling because, well, we can, and I'm me. So we have here some of the genial gems, which I love. Now these are actually pale papai and soft succulent, but they're so sparkly, they totally work with this color scheme. So I'm using the soft succulent ones and just adding a couple to bling up the front of our card a little bit, just like that. All right, there you go. Do you like that one? I hope you like it. Okay, let me pull in the rest of my samples here. So 1, 2, and 3, whoops, upside down. There are our 3 projects for today. So if you like these projects, you may want to send me a DM about still registering for my Strawberry Social event. So my Strawberry Social is being held on Friday, July 2nd. It's actually my parents' wedding anniversary that day. And it includes 5 cards, 2 of which are fun folds. Do you guys want a sneak peek of the cards? Here, I'll give you a sneak peek. And then I also have some extra little surprises for you. I'm not going to say anything more, but there are some extra surprises that are included in this class that I'm not going to show you because then they're not surprises. Okay? All right. So I don't know if I mentioned, I had a ton, and I mean a ton, of the DSP from Celebration that coordinates with this stamp set. I had been saving it, hoping that I could use it for a class still during Celebration. Of course, the punch wasn't available, so I held on to it. So I still have it. So I don't typically use retired product in a class, but I had so much of this, I couldn't resist using it in this class. So here is one super simple card. This is one of the projects for the class. Let me get these out of the way. So there's that one. And then we have this cutie. And then this is card number 3. So those are the 3 standard cards. And then we have 2 fun folds. So this is a double point fold that actually has a little latch here that holds it shut. So that is that one. And then our 5th card, this is a real wow card. This is a pop-up. Wow. Kind of fun. All right. So those are the 5 projects that we're going to be making. The cost of the class without the stamp set is $30, okay, plus postage if you are out of town. And then there are options. If you don't already have the stamp set and or the punch, there is an option to get the class, the stamp set or the class and the bundle at a bit of a discount. Okay, now registration has already closed, but if you are interested in still registering for this, I'm going to reopen it right after this video. I'm going to go up and reopen it until midnight tonight. Okay, so if you missed out on registering and you would like to take part in this class, you have until midnight tonight to register. Okay, no more after that because I'm going to start prepping. Okay, because I need to get kits out in the mail. All right, everybody. By the way, you will find the link to register at the top of my page here. Okay, it's pinned to the top of the page. All right. Okay, you guys, thank you for joining me this week. I hope you enjoyed these projects. Go out and pick some strawberries. Ontario strawberries this time of year are the best thing ever. For those who don't live in Ontario, I'm sorry that you don't live in Ontario during strawberry season. It's wonderful. All right, everybody. Thanks so much. Have a great week, and I will see you next week. Bye for now.